Growing up in an Italian family, I never really looked like either of my parents. You know, they both had dark skin, dark eyes, dark hair. And so I used to think that I was adopted. And my dad would try to comfort me, and he would say, Bianca, I know you're not adopted. He said, I know you're not adopted because you got my nose. Which any woman in here could agree that the last thing that we want from our dad, second to his dick, is his fucking nose, okay? I went to public school in the Midwest. So to put my education in perspective, I'm 26 years old, and I don't know how to spell the word definitely. But I could tell you all how many grams are in an ounce. We used to do a lot of really weird shit to get high back in high school. I don't know about you guys, but we used to smoke out of soda cans. We would steal apples from the grocery store and smoke out of those. And I remember we had this one friend in our group, his name was Henry. And Henry would always say, he's like, when you're done smoking out of the apple, you gotta eat it. You gotta eat the apple, it'll get you more high. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I was like, I wonder where Henry is now. And it turns out jail. Jail is where Henry is now. Because he was 47 and we were 15, but you know, you gotta get your weed from somewhere. I would say though, if I had to choose my favorite drug, it would definitely be shrooms. I gave my blind cousin shrooms. And it's like, I'm not one to say that I believe in medical miracles, but he is deaf now, so he decided to pull a Helen Keller. He wrote a book. The book's not that bad. The Audible version sucks, all right? I've always been told that I have a very masculine energy, and that never really bugged me until it became like a matter of safety, you know? Like I asked one of my guy friends if he would walk me to my car after the bar, and he just looked at me, and he was like, nah, you'll be fine. It makes dating hard too, you know? Like I've tried to put myself out there, and it's confusing because it's like I look like your mom, but I sound like your dad. So I could satisfy both types of parental issues. It's like if I like you, I'll bake you a cake. But if I love you, I'll go to your adult league basketball games and be like, don't let me see you crying. Pro tip, you can use that voice in the bedroom to speed up sex. They don't come, but they'll get soft real quick, so. I grew up in a really Italian family. And growing up, my dad would always say to me, he said, Bianca, we're Italian. We're Italian stallions. You gotta find yourself a man, you gotta find yourself a stallion. And I said, Dad, we live in Missouri. The closest thing I can find to a wild horse around here is just a guy with a ketamine problem, okay? Growing up in an Italian family, I never really looked like either of my parents. You know, they both had dark skin, dark eyes, dark hair. And so I used to think that I was adopted. And my dad would try to comfort me, and he would say, Bianca, I know you're not adopted. He said, I know you're not adopted because you got my nose. Which any woman in here could agree that the last thing that we want from our dad, second to his dick, is his fucking nose, okay? He'd say, you got my nose, and you got my forehead. I'm like, that's a crazy way to make me self-conscious of the size of my forehead. And so I did what any woman would do when they're self-conscious of something, and I decided that I would measure it. And fellas, it turns out 3 inches is a lot bigger than I originally thought, okay? And I mean that in the best way possible. Because I feel like more guys would feel secure about the size of their dicks if they had to put it in their mouth, all right? Because 3 inches is fucking huge. 3 inches is the size of a king-size Snickers bar. I challenge you to find one person in this room that would eat a Snickers bar by shoving the whole fucking thing into their mouth. Would you do that, sir? No? I bet you'd hit a whole lot more if your girlfriend shoved your head down on it while you're doing it too. And if you don't get that joke, fuck you, you're the problem, okay? But I feel like we all try too hard to impress people in the bedroom that we're not actually sleeping with. And women, we're the worst about it. Because if you ask any woman here what her favorite sex position is, she'll tell you something crazy. Like reverse cowgirl or 69. Fellas, if you're still making your bitch 69, grow the fuck up, okay? You know what they want to tell you? Missionary. Same amount of dick, least amount of effort. I feel bad, though. I feel bad for the guys on top, though, because we see how hard you guys work, and we respect it. We see you guys up there fucking shaking, you know? We see the stupid-ass faces you make just sweating on us, all right? And I feel like it's only fair that if your chick is like me, and her favorite position is missionary, that the next time you guys have sex, you make her do a plank first. And however long she can hold that plank, that is your new cum zone, okay? She can do a 60-second plank. You're a Minuteman now, brother, all right? She says, I got weak upper body. You say, too fucking bad, sister. By the way, they love it when you call them brother and sister in the bedroom, so you guys can take that home with you. My name is Bianca Parato. Thank you all so much for having me.